Good morning to everybody, and wishing everybody Chag Sukkot Sameach and Shabbat Sameach, and even during these times that we should be zocheh to fulfill the mitzvah of V'samachta b'chagecha, that we should be happy and joyful in our chagim. I'd like to dedicate this Dvar Torah to Le'ilui Nishmat, a very, very special and a great man, a giant of a man, Rabbi Avraham Tenz, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, who passed away just the day after Yom Kippurim. He was my Rosh Hashiva, and he touched the lives and educated the lives of thousands of Talmidim. He was the master educator, a man full of love and optimism, and a person who mamash changed South African Jewry. He was really a walking Kiddush Hashem, and may the Dvar Torah do justice to his memory, and may he have an Aliyah Legan Eden. Everybody knows that basically the word sukka means shelter. What is it a shelter from? Basically a shelter from the heat of the day. For example, Yeshayahu says in chapter number 4, Yeshayahu says, "V'sukkah tieh letzel yomam," that the sukkah will be for you, etzel will be a shade for you in the day to protect from the heat of the day. And the question is that today, what exactly does the sukkah? And as I say, the word sukkah, the actual word sukkah means to hover and to provide shelter and to protect. That's etymologically what the word sukkah means. And the question is now, what is a sukkah? In what does it protect us from? When in our day, we've got a house which can protect not only from the sun, it can protect from the rain, it can protect from the cold, it can protect, we've got air conditioners, etc. So what is the sukkah actually protecting us from? So I'd like to just give on the basis of what I heard from Mashgiach in Kerem B'Yavne, Rav Rivlin. He said, Yasod, it's a more darshani, that the sukkah protects us from basically a couple of spiritual things. First of all, let us just recount that Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot, they are basically one unit. Without getting too complicated, if you look at the Torah, all of these three chagim, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot, are referred to in the Torah as a Shabbaton. So that makes them one unit. And so now the problem, after experience Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, there's a couple of problems which the Sukkah comes to now protect us from. The one is a sense of, after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we feel mamash a sense of great accomplishment, rightfully so. I mean, we're soaring on high after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It's just the most magnificent and the most joyous and the most uplifting moments to come out of Yom Kippur. And then the problem is one of always, after reaching great heights, a problem of, like we think that then this how it should always continue to be. And it takes a lot of work that it's just not like that. The problem is once I think, oh, well, I've reached, so to speak, my destination, and then there's a certain amount of like smugness, that's it, I've done it. And the sukkah comes to protect us from that. It comes to bring us to a certain amount of humility. The other thing that the sukkah comes to protect us from is it always is. Let's use a couple of examples from the world. There's always a problem of re-entry level. In other words, we've reached such great heights on Yom Kippur. As I say, everyone feels so like uplifted, so like free. that we've started anew, that we have been zocher to forgiveness. And the problem then is to go from that type of intense spirituality, that the next day is an ordinary day. How actually do we do that without losing it? So first of all, if I could just bring a couple of examples. Sometimes when astronauts go into they go into space, the most dangerous time for the astronaut, where the rocket coming in, is at the re-entry level, when it now breaks the barrier and comes into the atmosphere and orbit of Earth. And then that is the most dangerous of all times. That's when the pressure against the spaceship is at its greatest. And we know many tragedies, unfortunately, that have happened during the re-entry of spacecraft into the Earth's atmosphere. And that is what happens on a spiritual level as well. When a person now reaches these heights on Yom Kippur, and now the next day is an ordinary day, so then that is when the resistance, the spiritual resistance of the Yetzer Hara, etc., is at its greatest. And in order then to protect us from that re-entry level, from that going down from those heights that we reached on Yom Kippur, to the mundane that we have the very next day, building a sukkah, that's what the sukkah comes to protect us from. And that's why we say in the davening, Ufros aleinu sukkat shlomecha, may the sukkah be some sort of canopy, some sort of a protection, in which we'll be able to not have this friction as we move from Yom Kippur to Sukkot. And I was reading once in National Geographic that there are how many climbers who reached the Everest passed away on their descent from the mountain, not from their going up. As much as one has to put in a lot of effort into ascending levels, then like coming down a mountain like Everest, or just going down a steep hill, we all know you have to put brakes on a little bit. We need how to know how to enter from the intense kedusha to the mundane and the everyday. And a subsection of this, you could count it as a third explanation or as just an expansion of the second explanation, is that whatever one gains in life, whether it's something, whether it's the money that a person has invested and has made, or a property that one has bought, or spiritual levels and change in personality, other levels that of Avodat Hashem and understanding of the Torah that we've maintained, we have reached. There's always a problem of maintaining. How do we maintain all the assets and all the accomplishments that we have done? There's like a natural erosion. How do we protect our money that it shouldn't go down in value? This is it's not only in life, as we all know, to make the money, to gain those spiritual heights, but how do we maintain them when there's almost a natural erosion? And that's what the sukkah does. Because imagine now that on Yom Kippur, after Yom Kippur, we sit in the sukkah, and everything that we do in the sukkah also becomes elevated. What we do is we eat in the sukkah, and because it's in the sukkah, our eating per se, without any extra real kavanot, becomes elevated to be a kedusha dika, holy dika eating. Our drinking is holy because it is done in a mitzvah. We are, so to speak, we in another planet called the planet of the sukkah. We are in this earth and protected in this bubble, not the plastic bubbles in shul, but a plastic bubble of kedusha. So whilst we're doing these activities, even sleeping in the sukkah, we have now left Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, we've done that kedusha, and we're maintaining it. We're maintaining it while engaging in all those physical matters. So as much as possible, with all the with all what's going on. Sukkot, after all, is not it's not necessarily communal. We could build our own individual Sukkot, and the Sukkot are outside, and we don't have to worry. We can have the family, one or two friends, Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should be zocher, that to fulfill this great mitzvah, which I think Dafka is much easier than the other mitzvah. They're much easier than to go to shul, because, as I say, the sukkah is outside, and no one is saying that you can't go outside. And we could easily protect ourselves, and Be'ezrat Hashem, then we should be zocher, that the words of our prayers, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu spread to us a sukkah of peace, of harmony, of maintaining and of protection. If we do our share, Be'ezrat Hashem, we should be zocher that Hashem will bless us with all the kedusha and with all the inherent brachot which are in the mitzvah of building a sukkah. Chag Sameach to you and all your families.